time a crypto falls out of its parabola, it comes down 85, 90%. There's not any crypto that's immune to it, right? I mean, maybe Bitcoin won't go down that far because it's Bitcoin, but the top other cryptos, besides Bitcoin and ETH, they're all in that range pretty much already, right? So how is Hex any different? It's not. It's actually outperforming everything else while it's paying out amazing yield. And think about it. It's been paying out this yield all the way up, and it's been paying out this yield all the way down. Some people have staked for Cuatro Cincos. Some people have been doing monthly stakes. And the price is still in the same range as the biggest freaking cryptos in the world in terms of, 85%, 90% range from the top down to the bottom. So to me, this is like, to have this before the Pulsechain fork, personally, like, obviously, we don't like to see your portfolio wrecked, but it's the perfect storm for lowering your cost basis, like, dramatically. So look at it like a positive if you can. I'm not in here trying to be, rah-rah boy, but, maybe I'm in here just
the way you're thinking right now, that's what we need.
Yeah, and, I just want to say this is the biggest positive that Hex can do, because the bigger correction, the bigger the bull run. So it's healthy that it's correcting this much. Like Mando was talking about, to be very specific, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and many other successful alts, they corrected up to 97% corrections. So it's like, right now, if we want to talk, specifics about it, if we're going to call Hex 52-cent high, it's like a minus, I think it's a 93%. Yeah, Hex wicked down to 3.5 cents. So we're at a 93% correction. Hex never done a 90% correction. It's done a couple 87%, but this is its first 90 plus correction. And the positive thing is like, you have an opportunity to buy this dip. This is the best tasting dip that you'll ever get in history for a long time. These dips don't happen that long. They're short amount of time, and just getting where you fit in. You don't want to go through these dips and later the price goes up and you're going to be kicking yourself in the head like, oh, I wish I accumulated at that rate.
Dude, Cardano's down 86% right now. I mean, the biggest cryptos are down the exact same percentage as Hex. That should speak something to everybody.
Mando, you're talking about yield, and if you're not accumulating T-shares here, you're wrong. I mean, it used to cost $1 million to get 100 T-shares. 100 T-shares is a fat money printer. 100 T-shares at Hex $1, that's a $250,000 a year income. And right now, you can get 100 T-shares for about 10 grand. That's what, excuse me, you can get 100 T-shares for about 100 grand. You can get 100 T-shares for just about 30 grand if you stake it out. 30 grand. It used to cost $1 million. These are the same T-shares. These are the same money printers. They produce the same amount of Hex. And I'm just looking at my stakes, and I watch them grow every day. When Hex makes its next all-time high, it'll come if you're patient. You won't believe it. Just like if you've been through these before, and I have, and many of you here have, it blows your mind what your balance is when we go on to make those new all-time highs. So I'm about to make an exception. I have funds set aside that I was hoping for mainnet to go in on the fork on mainnet and accumulate the things, but those funds I'm about to make an exception for with the levels we're at to accumulate more T-shares, because I can't believe, and I'm a guy that was DCAing in back at 0.40s and a 5 and a 6, but they're so damn good, and to get them on both chains, that's the thing. If you accumulate a T-share now, you're getting a free copy on the other side. So I mean, teach their own, but to me this is a no-brainer. And if we hang out down in this area, I'm gonna just start DCAing into T-shares. My last buy, by the way, because I buy Hex as often as I can to get more T-shares. That's the long game. That's the big picture. But my last buy was 17 cents. I've been dollar cost averaging in all the way since 4 zeros to the right of the decimal, all the way on up and all the way to where we're at now. So I don't know. It's just something to think about. Those who are really making it, T-shares are the name of the game. And ultimately, and I'm looking out, but like a year, 2 out after Pulsechain, Pulsex are well underway, I'm probably, like a lot of the larger leagues in the staker class, I'm probably going to convert a lot of that into T-shares, because those are your money printers. There's just tremendous value there. And if you're not familiar with them and you're listening to my voice, go research them. Just go to hex.com/techspecs. And truly, this is the finest asset that has ever been created, but it'll only make sense looking back. And so, my God, you get one T-shirt now for like $1,000, and it's only $300 if you're willing to stake it out past 10 years. Just something to think about.
If you bought 100 grand worth of Hex at 40 cents, you got 250,000 Hex tokens. If you put 100 grand right now now into Hex, you're getting 2 million tokens. I mean, that's amazing, guys. So I'm just trying to give you my vantage point. I agree with what Taylor just said. It's so funny. Everybody buys the top, but then when the bottom comes, everybody's too scared to buy. Why? What's the reason? Because they think it's going to just die and it's never coming back. But is that the case with Hex? Is that the case with any of these other cryptos? Hex has already cycled down 65 to 85%. How many times now?
Yeah, I mean, what Mando's saying is spot on. Mando's putting rounds on target. And I don't know where we bottom out. I don't know if it's here at 3 cents or 2 cents. I have no idea. But what I do know is I'm going to start DCAing in here to accumulate those T-shares. They're the most powerful thing that you can accumulate.
I mean, think about it, man. I mean, the biggest cryptos in the world are down 80, 85, 90% that don't even pay yield. And when you pay out yield, that presents much more downward pressure on the price because you're paying out people to stake and then they're able to sell that interest on the market and then restake. So the fact that Hex is up there is doing the things that it's doing while paying out the type of yield it's paying out, and it's still sitting there within the top 20 in terms of percentage. To me, it's just mind-boggling, really.
What's funny is one day Pulsechain and Pulsex will be doing these same corrections, and we're gonna know what to do when it does accumulate.
Of course. I hope this is a lesson.
I mean, think of the Pulsechain sacrifice price snapshot. I think it was like, what, 13, 14 cents? And it went all the way up. People were like, oh, look how big that sacrifice bag was. Now it's way under sacrifice price. Just be happy that you are potentially going to get that snapshot value, so we're getting Pulsechain at just an astronomically even way better pricing, considering what's going on now.
Yeah, well, anybody who sacrificed, right, that those funds aren't seeing an 85% retracement like everything else. It's locked into Pulse and Pulsex at rates that were, 17 cents, 18 cents, wherever you sent it in at, right? So from that vantage point, amazing, right? Because that's just awesome. And from the vantage point of people who, put in 10 grand or something like this at 45 cents, you can put in another 10 grand at 5 cents and you're getting like 5-6 times the tokens.